Houston, Texas. We've got Austin in Houston.
Nice.
Trey and Mufasa and Tyler and
we really need a Houston and Austin then.
Yeah, that would be nice too. I would like that. I was reading about a longtime Houston television weatherman, a guy who recently retired. He's 60. His name's Art Raskin, and he's in really good shape. And he was competing in an Ironman. You know, where you got to swim, you got to run, you got to bike. And he just retired last year from ABC 13 there in Houston and said, I'm going out, I stay in shape. And he finished the swimming part with no problems. And he started the bike riding portion.
And he got a flat tire.
He crashed and broke both wrists.
Ooh.
And finished the Ironman. But when he crashed his bike, it was on mile 4. So he still had a long way to go.
How long was the bike ride?
108 miles after he broke both wrists. I mean, a lesser person, and by that I'm talking about myself, would have said, I'm out.
Yeah, broken wrists. I mean, you get to
Your hands are hanging there like, I mean, you got to hang. He said, okay, this is something I have to endure, and so I just continued. Every bump in the road, I literally screamed out in pain, and then he ran 26.2 miles. That is the third leg of your Ironman. So he got hurt early on. Because if he had, I mean, he would not have been able to swim under those conditions. Anyway, so the swim went fine. Mile 4, crashes the bike, breaks both wrists, and then finishes the marathon part using one arm.
Badass, dude. Props to you, but I hope that there's no like permanent damage to your wrists.
Ironman sets a 17-hour limit to complete the whole thing, and he ran through the finish line at 15 hours, 16 minutes, and 37 seconds. And he has both arms now in casts.
Just makes me think of Steve Buscemi in Grown Ups, where he's got like the arms up cast going.
Yeah, right. This was a bucket list thing for him to do after he had recovered from a very serious case of COVID. So things are going great for this guy all around, but man, you have some kind of Ironman bragging rights because you wear the t-shirt. People who do those kinds of things love to tell you about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've done a couple of them over the years. I've never done an Ironman, obviously, but I've done like a Muddy Buddy and I've done like a Tough Mudder and things like that over the years. And you get the t-shirt. I don't think I've ever worn it. But a lot of people who do these things, and listen, you've earned it. You know, people love to tell you about how they ran a marathon. They get a sticker on their car, whatever. If you're this guy, you have an Ironman story. Oh, hey, you did the Ironman? Yeah, me too.
I didn't just
I
do
broke
an Ironman.
both wrists in the bicycle portion. I rode 108 miles with broken wrists, and then I ran a full marathon with 2 broken wrists. Longtime anchor at ABC 13 in Houston, Texas, retired in 2021 and had such a bad case of COVID that he was on an oxygen machine for 2 months. And then he broke his wrists. But he's 60. He's in great shape.
Yeah, that's
his 3 sisters
incredible.
Also competed in and finished the Ironman with unbroken wrists.
Yeah. So
I mean that's
they
part.
Should call it Iron Woman.
That's part of your story for the rest of whatever. Have you done Ironman? Yeah. You gonna do it again? No. Why not? Because I did it with 2 broken wrists. Why?
That was good enough for me.
Mm-hmm. He drifted to the right as he was glancing at other riders near him, and that was just enough to crash his bike. Turned around a split second to look before he crashed into a large plastic drum that was set up as a barrier on the side of the course. And it threw him off his bike. And obviously, reflexively, you're going to reach out your hands to break your fall. I remember when I had just started my internship at a radio station in Chicago. So I was 19 years old. And it was getting warm. It was a summer internship. So it was like May, beginning of May, starting to warm up. And as this was the early 90s, I was rollerblading to work.
Pretty sweet.
From the far north side.
Did you have the yellow one similar to Ken in the Barbie movie trailer?
No, I had black rollerblades. And I was living on the far north side, and the radio station was downtown. So it was a long, long time. I mean, it was about 45 minutes of rollerblading to and from. And right before you get into downtown, the very top of Michigan Avenue there, coming off of the lakefront biking, jogging, whatever trail, lakefront trail, there's an underpass there from Oak Street Beach that will get you under the overpass and up onto North Michigan Avenue. And for whatever reason, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention, whatever, I don't know. Maybe I was messing with my Walkman. Maybe I was rewinding my cassette. I don't know. But I ended up going on a decline, a paved decline to go into this underground tunnel to get back up on Michigan Avenue. And for whatever reason, I was going way too fast and couldn't brake in time, and I was going to hit the wall in front of me, and I put both my arms out. And I swear to God, I thought I broke both my wrists. It hurt so bad, I thought I can't believe I didn't break my hand or a finger or my wrists. I slammed into that wall. So this guy just reflexively puts his arms out to break his fall. He was bleeding from his knees, arms, and hands. He quickly realized he was worried that he had wrecked his bike. The bike was still rideable. Checked the tires, rechained the bike, and realized that he had broken his wrist. His left wrist was so unusable, he just draped it across the top of the handlebars. So it's like cooked spaghetti. Your lady's like, oh, yeah. God. He's like, the left wrist was worse, so I would kind of use the other one to support it. Oh, God. This guy's a killer. Yeah, I finished the Ironman. Wow. He has to wear a cast on his wrists for 6 to 8 weeks. And he may need surgery. And he's not ruling out another Ironman. Because you go...
He wants to do one with his wrist not broken. Yeah. It probably was way more fun if you don't have broken wrists.
And stronger than ever. He's probably going to end up with a couple of pins in him or something. Yeah. Could you imagine if Poundcake was doing an Ironman and got hurt? Like a hangnail.
Dude, if I saw that guy crash, I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Just seeing him hurt his wrist, I'd be like, I'm not even putting this on Poundcake. I know how I am. Like, no, I'm not doing this. This is dangerous. I'm done.
Dangerous.
I don't get this.
Yeah, but people train a long time for these Ironman
I know. I've just never been that type of person. It's impressive. I don't get the satisfaction of it. Any race I've ever run, I've never felt like, hey, I did that. It's not anything I think of as like an accomplishment. It's just something that's just like, well, that took too much time.
That's how I felt as a young, I know this is not necessarily related, but that's how I knew I was in the wrong profession when I was a carpenter, when I was building houses, because I didn't feel, people were like, oh, you'll feel so fulfilled after you build this house and, you get a sense of satisfaction. Didn't feel any of that. I was like, oh, so glad that's over.
Right, you just want to walk away from it. You're just like, I don't want this to be anything that I do.
Exactly. They were like, you don't feel a sense of pride? That's your legacy. I'm like, no.
Your legacy? Well, a little young for that to be your legacy. You hope there's going to be something past that.
You're building houses and, someone's going to live there and they're going to raise a family there and, it might be passed down from generations. They're like, you did that. You provided that. You provided shelter. I'm like, yeah, but I got a splinter and I almost hit my hand. Like,
yeah, but you suffer for your art. That's still pretty important.
Yes, but I didn't care. That wasn't my art.
He took no pride in it. I was the same way, working for my dad, doing manual labor, doing bricklaying, all that stuff. Did not take any pride in it because it was not anything I wanted to do.
It was not.
It's just work. Art. It's not. There's no pride there because it felt almost forced.
It was a distraction for me. I was like, I'd rather do anything, even build houses, rather than be gay. I was like, I'd rather risk, getting a blood blister, which I got many doing that, than be gay. And I ended up being gay because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was like,
it's either carpentry or homosexuality for this guy.
I was like, enough of that. All right, we got enough blood blisters. We got enough making a fool of yourself. Making an unstable house.
Well, they do say that the one big mistake this guy made was that he chose a scraper bike for his Ironman competition.
That was
Cruising on my scraper bike. I'm cruising on my scraper bike. My scraper bike go hard. I don't need no cord. Smashing on my scraper bike. Scraping on my scraper bike. Scraping on my scraper bike. On my scraper bike. On my scraper bike. On my scraper bike. On my scraper bike.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, how are you?
What's going on?
Love all you guys. Hate the show.
Thank you, sir.
When I was a kid, we're talking summer of 5th grade, I fell off of a slide and broke both of my wrists. Broke all 4 bones, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. And what happened? You were a kid.
I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did you finish
I
a
was
Tough Mudder after
actually
that?
Swatting what was that?
How old were you?
The summer of 5th grade. I was on a big slide. Back then, we were allowed to, ride on big things like that. It was about 14 feet. I was swatting a bug, and I swatted myself right over the top of the slide.
Terrible
And I
timing,
woke
too,
up
because
on the-
that's right about the time that you get heavily into masturbation. And so when you broke 5th grade, oh, my God, I was all in, homie. So you break both wrists. It's just terrible. That's just going to be a hell of a summer.
It was summer with 2 casts, all 4 bones. The day we came back from the hospital with the 2 casts on, my mom wanted to try to make me feel better, so she tried to make me one of my favorite things. So she made me corn on the cob, which I don't know if you've ever had a cast on your hand or not before, but picture trying to eat corn on the cob like that. It didn't work.
Yeah, I haven't had a cast on my hand, but I can imagine. So it was... I like Mark's mom. It didn't even occur to her. She's like, he's got broken wrists. How is he going to eat corn on the cob? She didn't even decob the corn for you.
Oh, that's what they eventually had to do, but they also had to feed it to me because at the time, with fresh casts, I wasn't even able to grasp a spoon yet.
Yeah,
so
right.
It didn't make me happier. Let's just say that.
All right. Thank you, Mark. There's Mark out in Huron. Do we have some hot goss to get to?
Oh, do we?
This is Hot Celebrity Gossip with Perez, Bilton. Ooh.
What's up, Goss Guzzlers? I got some hot, sticky goss for you. Starting off with some sad news. Harry Belafonte has passed away at age 96. You might know him from his hit song, the Banana Boat song, or Deo, as it's most well known. You probably saw Beetlejuice. They do a rendition in there. A lot of fun. So that's rest in peace, Harry Belafonte. And according to inside sources, cause of death, God needed someone to tally his bananas.
Who knew there were bananas in heaven?
Yeah,
all right.
I need potassium up there.
Yeah.
Bam Margera from Jackass can't seem to get it together. Bam was arrested after he broke into his brother's house around 8 a.m. and then was peeing in his brother's sink. His brother came downstairs and they got into a fight. Bam ran away from the police into the woods and they caught him in the woods. There's a whole bunch of other details. It was a mess. Bam is off the rails. And according to inside sources, this is all a work. They're trying to reboot Bam's MTV show, but this time it's going to be called Viva La Rehab.
I'll watch.
Yeah, right? And Don Lemon was fired from CNN recently. Rick Ross said, hey, I got a job opening for you. You can come work at Wingstop. You can be a fry cook, a manager, whatever you want, Don Lemon. But Don Lemon's not going to do that. And according to inside sources, Lemon turned down the offer to work at Wingstop because he's got an event planning business already launched and ready to go. You want to find out more about his event planning? Just head to lemonparty.com.
Ew.
This is Hot Celebrity Gossip with Perez, Bilton. Ooh.
Harry Belafonte was the first million-selling album by a single artist.
Yep.
1956, his
Very
Calypso
cool.
album. I wonder if he ever toured with Louis Farrakhan. You know, he started out as a Calypso singer. Yeah, he was kind of a failed artist. But yeah, the Banana Boat song and Jamaica Farewell and all those. I mean, I learned about his place in history long time ago before I ever heard any of the music.
What do you do? You're a teacher. What do you teach? History. What do you think? I don't know history? I know Harry Belafonte started the Civil War.
Yeah. Listen, you learn different things from different people all the time. So, R.I.P. Harry Belafonte. He's got a hot daughter. Sherry Belafonte Harper is his daughter. She's been an actress of some renown for a long time. He died of congestive heart failure at his home, 96 years old. Harry Belafonte. I've got to take a break. If you want to send a text, 35192 to get me there. We're going to talk to Charlie Sheen closer to 4:30. If all goes well, he is in town on Friday for an evening with Charlie Sheen out at MGM Northfield Park. That will include a screening of Major League. So we'll see what he's got coming up other than that. If you're a fan of Stavros Halkias, very funny comic who's coming through to do Playhouse Square, I will get you a couple of tickets for that after the break, and then another $1,000 courtesy of the Buzzard bookie on the way at 4:30.
This is the Alan Cox